video is a typerific video where I'm going to be going over a few different personality types that you're likely gonna date at some point in your life. What I'm talking about here are people with 3 different types of attachment styles. I wanna give credit where credit is due. This is not sponsored, but I am reading the book Attached, and it is what inspired me to make this video. And what are attachment styles, you might ask? Attachment styles are basically the way that people get attached in romantic relationships. None of these are really better than the other, but they can be more complementary with certain people, if that makes sense. And if you understand your own attachment style and someone else's attachment style, it might help you navigate through some like murky waters in a relationship or a crush or something you're going through trying to decide if you want to date somebody or not. So first, let me just go over the 3 different names: anxious, avoidant, and secure. Starting with anxious, in the test that I took, because in the book there's a test where you can like analyze what your type is, and I scored really high on anxious. It wasn't my main one, but I scored pretty high at it. So I can definitely relate to the people who have the anxious attachment style. The anxious attachment style are people who stress out in relationships, ultimately fearing that their partner isn't going to be able to love them as much as they love their partner. And these types tend to need a little bit more assurance than other types, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. The book goes into details about how people always look down on people who are dependent on other people, but actually there's nothing to be ashamed about with that. Like, if you perform better and live a happier, more secure, peaceful life with somebody who is giving you reassurance and reminding you that they love you and being totally vulnerable and open with you, then more power to you. Like, you know your weaknesses, you know what you need. And that's kind of the point of this book, and that's why I really like it. So the anxious type are the people that, you know, if someone doesn't text you back, you freak the out because you're like, oh my gosh, it means they must not love me. They must, like, I like them more than they like me because I'm freaking out that they haven't responded and it's been 45 minutes. Oh my God, it's been 4 hours. Do we need to break up? Like, what's going on? And it's just that anxiety, like, thought process that just is constantly questioning, does this person love me? And I can totally relate to that. That is something I struggled with, specifically with texting. I definitely have been in situations where someone really does like me, but our texting chemistry is kind of off, and I freak out about it. All right, the next one is avoidant. These are the people that have a struggle with opening up to their partner, and they are regularly looking for reasons to leave, like kind of waiting for the next shoe to drop, waiting for something bad to happen so they can just like GTFO as quickly as they can. They're the types that send mixed signals on a regular basis. Like, one moment they're really into you, and then the next day they're like totally distant and trying to like maintain control at all times, always thinking that their partner's trying to manipulate them or trick them into something, and they're playing all these games. And you know what the thing is it's actually not intentional. Like, the avoidant type isn't aware that they're doing this, and they're not doing it on purpose. It's just their coping mechanism and their attachment style, because they are protecting themselves because they're not as comfortable with being vulnerable. And so the second they genuinely love someone or they care about someone, they're just waiting for the next bad thing to happen so they can protect themselves. So they avoid being close and intimacy. This type also tends to be really critical of their partner and judge them a lot. The last type is the secure, and this is the reassuring, warm, loving, comfortable with love attachment style. The secure is comfortable with being vulnerable. They're comfortable with discussing love and feelings and just being open and honest about truly how they feel, and they don't scare easily, and they're not super anxious if their partner loves them or not, and they just kind of have like an overall confident, optimistic, comfortable tone towards the relationship. So it can be totally awesome to date secure people, but if you're the avoidant type, if you're dating a secure type, that might not work, because the secure is like just totally open and comfortable with communicating and love and vulnerability, and the avoidance just like, whoa, this person's freaking me out, like they're trying to be way too close to me. So what tends to happen because of some of these dynamics is the avoidant attachment style and the anxious attachment style tend to get together a lot. They will find each other in a room like magnets, because the anxious style is somebody who is kind of like, they get that rush and that adrenaline of wondering if this person is available, if they like them, if they don't, and they misinterpret that feeling for love. They think that it's love when they're having to constantly think about someone and question how they feel and what this person thinks about them, And it like this anxiety is they tell themselves that that's love. And then the avoidant style wants somebody that they can kind of control and somebody that they feel like, you know, they always have the ball in their court. And so what happens is anxious and avoidant get together, and it's actually not a super ideal situation. So for the anxious, it's better in their way that they attach to be with somebody who's secure. And speaking from experience, an avoidant and an anxious don't work very well, but as someone who can tend to be on the anxious side, I love being with a secure person, because whenever I have that anxiety and I bring it up and I'm like, oh, I'm just feeling kind of, you know, like I need some love today. And then they respond with giving me exactly what I need and with like a warm, welcoming response. So that's just my personal preference. But anyways, if you want to know more about this stuff, I just say get the book, listen to the audiobook, do something like that. It's a really awesome way to kind of understand how you yourself work in romantic relationships, and it gives a lot of history and facts and scientific evidence and all this stuff that's just like really cool. My kind of shit. So anyways, give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and let me know in the comments below what attachment style you think you are. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more videos from me, and don't forget to turn my notifications on so when I post a new video, you guys know exactly when it comes out. That's it. I will see you guys here soon. Bye!